Welcome once again to Cheesy Dan Reviews. As always, I'm Cheesy Dan. Up on the plate today, we have Launch Trampoline Park Cheese Pizza. I know the box doesn't give you much to go on. However, Launch Trampoline Park is part of a chain of trampoline parks that's actually quite large. It's a family entertainment zone where they have arcades, trampoline parks, and other things that you can do there. And this is going to be specifically part of my series on reviewing pizzas from family fun zones. So the question is, how does this pizza stack up against Stars and Stripes, which we tested last week? Is this pizza going to be worth your dough, or is it better just to wait until you eat when you get home? I guess we're going to have to review it and find out.
To determine if this cheese is worth your dough, we're going to judge it based on its appearance, its day one taste, its value. Take a slice and stick it in the fridge, come back on day 3 for the reheat. We'll take all 4 scores, add them together, divide them by 4, and then we'll know the cheesy score.
All right, well, let's open up the box and see what we got for our money. Well, overall, pretty decent looking pizza. I will say right off the bat, it is very cooked and I guess almost hard here, whereas you get over here and it's super fluffy and it looks like there's a lot, 3 fingers worth of crust here, and over here 2 fingers worth of crust. So the crust ratio to cheese is a little bit inconsistent. And because of that, I guess this overcooked a little too much, and then maybe this didn't cook quite as much. Not bad, but definitely something to take note of. There are a few spots where, like over here where you can see the cheese didn't make it all the way out. There's a couple spots where it's a little thin. So as far as appearance goes, it's not a home run, but it's not a bad looking pizza. I would say as far as a day one appearance, I'm going to probably put it at a 5.5, just simply because the dough to cheese ratio is so inconsistent, some of the other things I mentioned. So the question is then, which slice should we pick? I'm going to go with this one right here. I'm going to go with the big thick crust. All right, so let's set that down there. Now you can see the bottom of it here. The bottom does seem like it was evenly cooked. The cheese coverage on this slice specifically is pretty good. I do want to address the value part on this one. So this pizza came in at $14.99 plus tax. Now for a family entertainment zone, that is a very affordable pizza. In fact, that doesn't end up being all that much more than, for instance, the DiGiorno extra large, which one was about like $10, I want to say. When you compare this to, say, like Stars and Stripes, that one was $19.99. Now, it was a 3 cheese pizza. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very good one. So at $14.99, this is actually a pretty excellent value for a sit-down restaurant or a family fun zone. I would say I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put it at a 9 for a value. So very, very fair value for this pizza. The next question we've got to ask ourselves is, what's it taste like? So let's take a bite. So as far as first taste goes, the cheese on this one, it actually has almost like a smoky taste to it. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's just the way it cooked, but almost has a little bit of a smoky taste to it. As far as the crust goes, the crust is very soft. It doesn't, I don't really think it has a strong taste, but since there's so much crust on this one, I do want to take a bite of it just to see. Yeah, not a strong taste, very light breadish taste, I guess. I know crust is a form of bread, but doesn't always kind of taste like bread. That really does kind of just taste like what you would think of when you're eating bread. The sauce itself, you do get a quick little taste of it, but like I said, that almost the smoke flavor, I don't know if it's because maybe there's some other stuff that was cooking with it, but overall, taste-wise, I would say that this one's probably going to be more like a 5.5. It's not really a standout pizza, but at the same time, definitely not bad. Something you would feel very comfortable eating. I think if you were at lunch and you wanted to sit down and have something to eat with your kids, The value is pretty good. The taste isn't too bad. I think that this one would be a good one to go with, but as we know, we've always got to go back and put one in the fridge, come back on day 3 and see how does this pizza hold up. So let's take this slice, put it down, and you're gonna help me pick. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You tell me which slice do you think I'm gonna pick, and then we'll come back on day 3, reheat it, and see if you got it right. So see you then.
3 days later.
All right, now we're back on day 3 with the Launch cheese pizza. Let's see what it looks like. Now you can see the cheese itself all looks really good. The crust still has some fluffiness to it. The crust itself is not spongy, which is great. I think this is a good looking pizza, even smells good. So let's heat it up. Well, now that we've given it a chance to heat up and get warm, let's take another look at it. You can see here the cheese did melt out pretty good. The smell of the crust, it has a sweet smell to it. It almost reminds me of the rolls that my dad used to get when I was a kid from a Chinese restaurant that was up the street from us. I really enjoyed those rolls because on the outside the bread was really crispy, and then on the inside it was extremely soft to where you'd almost kind of like want to pick the insides of the bread out and eat it. It kind of has that smell to it. Now, if you remember on day 1, I gave you a chance to choose which slice you thought I would pick to save for day 3. If you pick slice 7, you got it right. So this one, it's time to go ahead and give it its day 3 taste and see how the Launch cheese pizza did. Now, like on day 1, this one still has a little bit of a smoky taste to it. Again, I don't feel like that's something done on purpose, but in any case, it does taste good. The cheese itself is good. The bread, you know, it showed a little bit of softness more than it did on day 1 just from age. But overall, I wouldn't mind eating this at all on day 3. I would say that with just small noticeable change, you're going to lose a little bit. So whereas this one was a 5.5 on day 1, I would say I'll put this one at a 5 for a day 3. So with that day 3 score of a 5, that's going to put the Launch Trampoline Park cheese pizza at a final cheesy score of 6.25. I personally think that's not too bad for a family entertainment pizza, you know, that you don't expect it to really be all that good. Now, I know when you look at it with the score, with the taste and the appearance in day 3, it's all kind of average. But because the value is really good for that type of environment, that puts the score up to 6.25. And as a result, this one actually scores just below the Tommy G's pizza, above the Papa John's Tuscan 6 cheese, above the Marco's Big Cheese, you know, the Screamin' Sicilian Bessie's Revenge. You know, value really does help a lot. Even if a pizza's just okay, if the value's there, it makes it worth it. And that's kind of the case here with the Launch Trampoline Park. The other thing, although I can't add it to the score, that I would like to mention, they were extremely fast. From the moment I ordered this pizza to the moment I got it, it was quick enough I didn't even keep track of the time. You know, even my wife who was with me noted, wow, that was really quick. So, you know, kudos to the employees there for being quick and, you know, being on it. So for the Launch Trampoline cheese pizza, I would say if you're there for a party and you're hungry, don't feel one bit bad about grabbing it. I'm not saying that you'd want to necessarily go out of your way to go get it when you could just go to another pizza place. But if you're there with a family, don't feel one bit bad about ordering their cheese pizza. I think you'd enjoy it. So I appreciate you watching. I want to thank you that have subscribed so far and some of you that have commented. Thanks for interacting. It makes this channel grow and, of course, motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. So I hope you continue to enjoy it. Recommend it to your friends. And until we eat again, stay cheesy.